Hello, welcome. So I've come along today to do a digital kit project. I am going to possibly try at the end of the video to do a non-kit version. I've just cut out one of my passports and I'm going to show you how I've kind of designed this. I've left a slight white line where we fold, and I've also left a slight white line down this middle bit here. Now this little middle bit here, it's very small and it is faint, but we do kind of need to cut that, and I'll show you what I'm going to do. The first thing, excuse all the ink, the first thing I want to do is fold this in half because we want our creases to look nice. Folding that and burnishing that down before I move to my little line. Now, I'm right-handed, so I'm going to cut to the right of that line first, and I am going to use my scissors. It's a little bit tricky to use your knife. I'm going to cut that. It is possible, after we've put this together, we still need to do a little bit of trimming. It really will depend on the paper you have printed on. I have had to do a little bit of trimming. I've used Epson Photo Quality heavyweight paper. So depending on what you cut with will depend if you need to do a little bit more trimming. Now, I want to make sure that's right. So you can see we've actually got a tiny little gap down the middle here, which will be completely covered up with ink. Like I said, the paper you've used will kind of determine how well this goes together, but a little bit of trimming in it and it will work fine. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do now this is cut is I'm going to glue down my flaps. Now, if you wanted to, you could leave the sides open, use them as a little pocket. I don't want to do that. I'm going to sew mine. If you wanted to sew and make a little pocket, you'd have to sew before you glue. So I'm just going to glue this side down, and I'm making sure I line up to my corners, outside corners. That's where I want to line up. So that's that side done. And I'm going to do the same on this side. Right, so that's all glued. I'm going to grab some ink. So what I'm going to do is, now that's done, I'm going to fold this in half and put my crease in like that. Okay, so I'm just going to do that. Once I've got that fold in place, I'm just going to fold it back on itself, and I'm just going to ink that crease on the inside. Now open that up and you can barely see that we've got a join there. And now I'm just going to continue and ink the rest of this little passport. So now we have our little passport all done and inked. And it's already looking pretty good. I'm not going to do anything too complicated on mine. So I've got 3 more here that I've already put together. So we've got 3 like that. And before I start embellishing this in any way, I want to do any stamping because this is quite flat at the moment. I'm going to stamp them all at the same time. So I'm going to grab some stamps. I've got my mini toadstools, which is CMS 377. I've got field notes, which is CMS 396, sorry. And I've got correspondence, which is CMS 225. I've had a little move round, so things are all all in new places. I'm going to grab my thingy there. Some coloured inks. So I've got red, blue, green and orange, I think, out of those. And I'll grab my black as well. So let's start with, I'm going to try some numbers. I'm going to take this out. So these are all field notes. I'm starting with field notes. And I'm going to start with a red. And I'm going to put this one here, like that. Just block that off. Now I'm going to do that in black on one of the other ones. Let's put that there. So you've got another number. I'm going to put that here. And I'm just literally playing around with my number stamps and my various other stamps. So we've got filed here. Pop that up there. We've got quite a bit of stamping on there now. I think that's kind of enough. I'm happy with how they look. So the next thing I want to do is look at adding the additional pieces that come with the kit. So what I'm going to need, there are 2 tags that come with the kit. It tells us the class or classification, the subclass, and then the order. So if you could research this online, the class is Insecta. It's insects, basically. So in the subclass, we've got 2 categories. I'm not going to try and pronounce them because they are Latin, but one is wingless insect and one is winged insect. And then we've got the order. And again, there are 5 and they are in Latin, but one is beetles, one is wasps, bees and ants, one is butterflies and moths, one is flies, and one are true bugs. So you can use these little cards so you know how to fill out your little passports. So I only have 3 that says Insecta left. So I'm going to cut out those. And I'm going to give these a little ink. Okay, so we've got those in there. And then I'm going to grab my pen. And on this last one, I'm just going to write it in. And I know my handwriting's terrible. So that's that. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to glue these all down. Now, we know they're all insects, so it's fine to put these down. But before we can fill out the rest, we need to put our images in. So let's have a look. I've already cut all of my images out, so I'm just going to have a little play around and see what I would like to use. Right, so I've picked my little bugs. I'm going to give those an ink. So I don't think I'm going to sew any of these. I think I'm just going to glue these straight into place. Okay, so we have that. Very happy with that. I want to add a little bit of stamping to this. So I'm going to grab these stamps again. These again are the field note stamps. I'm going to grab this one first. And we've got quite a big amount of space on that one. So I'm going to put this here like that. Then I'm going to take the filed back with my red ink with this one. And I think I'm going to add this to my ant. Like that. Then this is the toadstools. So I'm going to grab that little number. And I think I might do this one in red as well. I think that might work. And I'm just going to put that over by my beetle. Like that. And then lastly, I've got this other one. Not sure I want that in red. I think I'm going to do that in black. And we'll put that over here. Like so. So that just gives those a little bit more interest again. And now we can finish filling in our little boxes. So this one is a winged insect, which is this. I'm really not going to try and pronounce that. I do apologise. But let's put that there. That will go there. And this one is also a winged insect. So that will also need that same word. And like I said, I'm referring to my little tags. So I know I'm using the correct word. Now, you're going to think I'm completely dumb, but I'm not sure if a beetle has wings or not. So I'm going to say no. This particular beetle, as far as I'm concerned, it's not going to have wings today. I know things like ladybugs have wings, but I'm going to say that one doesn't. So I'm going to ink it. You know, you're not going to get into trouble if you do these wrong. So it's no big deal. It's just fun. It's just a bit of fun. So we've put that there. Now this is a wingless, and I'm going to refer to this for my spelling. Like that. And the order is an ant. So while I'm at it, I'm going to put that word in there as well. I find it very difficult to copy. So if that's wrong, you know, please don't tell me, because I'm okay with that being wrong. This one's a bee. So we need, I'm going to grab these because I haven't finished cutting these out. One that begins with an H is the order for bees. So I'm just going to cut these out. What I'll do is I'll finish cutting these out and then come back. Right, so now I've got all my little bits and pieces. I'm just going to glue all these down. And like I said, I'm not 100% sure I've got these right. If you want to be spot on, then by all means, you can do some online research or find yourself a good book. I, however, am just making sure they look pretty, and it's as accurate as I'm worried about. It's not perfect. It is just for fun. I've put my dragonfly down as a fly. I don't know. I'm not sure. It's not a butterfly or a moth. Right, so if you wanted to do a bit more stamping on here, you could. I'm happy with these how they are. The only thing I want to do before I decorate any further is add some stitching. But we do actually have to put our book plates on the front. So I'm going to turn them over, and I've printed and cut out my book plates. So now I'm just going to have a little look around and see what might go where. I think I'm having that. Okay, so I'm just going to ink these little book plates and put them into place. There we go. So I'm just going to give these a little stitch now before we finish them off. I'm just going to put a little stitch around them and then I'll be back. So they're all sewn. Had a little bit of sewing machine trauma, so I took a break. I took a little break, so they're now sewn like that. And they are looking pretty cool. I actually really like how these are coming out. So I want to do a little bit more decoration on these, or add a little bit to them. So I have a few things that I want to do. Now, obviously, some of the little bits don't necessarily work with the passports, but they'd work in a journal if you're doing an entomology journal, for example. So I'm just going to have a little quick look in here, see what we have. Right, so we've got lots of little tags. Lots of little tags and things like that. I've also got these that I might want to add, and some little labels, little bits and pieces that come with the kit. I'll get these bits out. We've also got some entomology flashcards, so I'm going to have a look at those maybe. I'll link this down below as well, because you might want to use some of these as little dangles or things like that. Kind of a little bit, I'm not quite with it yet. I've had the reason I was supposed to film this on Thursday, but I've had such a terrible cough. I felt absolutely fine. I didn't feel poorly in the slightest, but didn't sound very good, and trying to film was not really going to happen. So what I think I might do is take one of my little... I'm going to go for entomology. I'm going to ink this one. I'm going to add this as a little pocket to the back. And then, should I use that one? Yeah, we'll use this one. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue along there and there. Pop that onto the back, just to give it a little bit of something else. And I have a flashcard with that particular word on, so I'm going to use that. This is the order, this is the type of insect that this is. I'm going to use my corner punch and just round the corners of this flashcard. Like that, and ink it. I'm going to pop that in the little pocket. Let's put it that way up. And I'm also going to add, what shall we add? Let's add this one. Put that in there. And we'll also add one of the little labels. So that is our little passport. That's one done. We've got a little pocket on the back with other bits and pieces on. Okay, so let's move on to another one. So what do we have here? We have a flying insect. Now I'm going to take one of these tiny little pieces that I've made. What colour is the front? I think that would work. Now I'm not sure if this is going to fit in here, but I'm going to give it a go. Just about. So I'm just going to round the corners on this little piece here, like that, and I'm going to give it an ink. I'm going to fold it in half. I'm going to work on the inside so I don't cover up my text. Glue my little doojimy flippy bit. Add that there. So I'll come back to that. I think I might. Which insect would this work? Bug. I think I'm going to ink this and add this to that little bug. Put that tape measure there. Now I'm going to add this one to here. We've got these little labels and things in the kit, so I'm going to use them. So we've got those two. Right, so we've got the symbols here for male or female. I'm going to take this little male, and again, I don't know if this is correct or not. I have no idea if this is a male bug or a female bug. Pop that there. Not even sure if I've got that the right way up. Hey ho, hey ho. Right, so this one, grab this label. I'm going to grab a piece of cardstock and I'm going to add it onto a piece of black, I think. Just out of my little scrap box. That's right on my desk here. And give that an ink. Okay, I'm going to have it on this side. I'm going to have that hanging. I've got my hole punch. So I'm going to put a hole in the end of the tag. Put a hole in the end of the tag. And then I'm going to put a hole over this little tab we've added. Like that. So I'm going to set an eyelet into each of these. And then grab a piece of ball chain and I'm going to hang that on with a piece of ball chain. Now it's going to stop the little passport from closing completely, because obviously we're going to have this piece of ball chain on the inside. But I still think that's going to work. I love it. Very happy with that one. And then there's just two others here. What should we do? I actually think I'm just going to leave those as they are. I have made a little, one of the little slides from the kit. So we've got the 4 passports. Now let's see if we can use one of these in here. So with the kit, you've got some strips. They're kind of designed to be belly bands if you wish to use one of these to add one of these to your journal. So I'm going to find a page on the giveaway journal. And obviously these go any way up. I think I'm going to add it to this lined page. So I'm going to just give this an ink. Right, I'm going to ink this little classification tag. And I'm also going to ink this little entomology label. Like that. And I think I'm going to actually line these up and then add a bit of stitching. I'm going to run a little bead of glue along the top of my band, line it up roughly where it's going to go, and then I'm just going to put that label at the top of my page and then glue that one into place there. And again, I'm just going to line that back up at the top, put a little bead of glue along the bottom here, add this label, straighten that out. So it's going to be top to bottom of my page now, and I'm just going to add some stitching. I think it's time that my sewing machine had a little service. It's getting close. It's been probably 2 years, I think, since I've had it done. So what I'm going to do is glue all the way along the top of this little bit here, added, and I'm going to glue the label. They're all now stitched in, so they're not going to go anywhere. Line this up with the top of my page, and it should line up with the bottom as well if we did this correctly. We've got our little passport. I'm going to slot that in. So I've got a nice big paper clip. I'm just going to pop that on the side to hold that in place, and I think that's pretty cool. I'm very happy with that. As I've got my little slide, let's add that somewhere as well, shall we? We've got that. I think I'm going to possibly add that into that little pocket. So there we go, something else in there. Change of plan. This is the kit version. I am now going to have to do the no kit version in the next video, which will probably now be out tomorrow. I did film it and it's too long and I'm having some trouble uploading, so I'm going to cut it. I'm going to end today's video here. And you will be able to see a no kit version of the Entomology Passport. So keep an eye out for that tomorrow. I will link the kit down below. I will also, in tomorrow's video, link this video. Thank you so much for joining me, and sorry it has had to be split into two, but I will get this out as soon as I can. I will see you all soon. Take care. Bye.